we're going to use completing the square on a quadratic. Okay? So this is the standard form of a quadratic. We want to turn it to a vertex form. All right? And in order to do this, we need to complete the square. So, we've talked about before, we divide the first two terms by our a value. Now, when I do that, I'm going to have 2 on the outside of the bracket, x squared. A lot of you guys will turn this into decimal. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it as 3 over 2x plus 1. b divided by 2. Nathaniel. So, our new b is 3 over 2. When I do that, it's going to read like this, 3 over 2. And as a shortcut with fractions, if you're dividing by a number, you just put that on the bottom of the fraction. So it's really 3 divided by 2 times 2 on the bottom. Okay? So this is really going to read, once we divide it by 2, 3 over 4. 3 over 4 squared, well, I can do that very easily. It's just multiplying two fractions. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. So this is the value. I'm going to add and subtract 9 over 16. I haven't had to use a calculator yet. These are all relatively easy numbers to work with. 2, x squared plus 3 over 2x. Then we add 9 over 16 and subtract 9 over 16. Okay? Remember, the negative value needs to go to the outside. And when we do that, we have to multiply by the term here. So we'll be multiplying it by 2. So that might become difficult too. We'll have 2 x squared plus 3 over 2x plus 9 over 16. Now, if I'm multiplying this on the side, 2 times negative 9 over 16. Remember, this is just like 2 over 1. So all I really have to do is multiply the top number by 2. So it's going to read negative 18 over 16 plus 1. Okay? Then I square root the first and last term. Okay, so this fraction might look hard to square root, and if it was a decimal, it would be very hard. But for sure, we need a calculator. We know that's going to make the two terms in the brackets, and then we'll have negative 18 over 16 plus 1. But square root of x is just going to be x. And square root of 9 over 3, well, what's the square root of 9? 3. And what's the square root of 16? 3 over 4. And it's a positive value, so we put a plus in there. All I got to do is simplify these last two terms. I want you to think about this. If I got to make this a denominator of 16, 1, what is it? Well, it's just going to be 16 over 16. That's what 1 is. That value over the other. So when we simplify, we'll have 2x plus 3 over 4 squared minus 2 over 16. Everything's in fractions without using a calculator.
So can you just put minus 2?
It won't be negative 2. It's negative 2 over 16.
Does it